Stanford's academic reputation is pretty well known, and I knew that coming in. And when I took my recruiting trip, it was pretty obvious to me that athletically they had all the resources and everything I would need to be able to reach the highest point in my sport. And you know, what more can you ask for in a university? And it seemed like it was a really easy decision for me to choose Stanford.
Our next senior is Abrahm DeVine.
One of the things that makes Abe pretty special, and it's pretty typical amongst some of the more elite athletes I've coached, is that he just seems very relaxed and not ever very stressed or anxious about training or competition or just what's going on in his life. He just seems very comfortable with what's going on. He has it all figured out, and he just never gets really too uptight or stressed out about things.
The biggest thing about Abe, and I think what makes him great as a swimmer, is his ability to really focus. He doesn't really have to spend as much time in the pool as most swimmers, because the way I would say it is he'll get done in an hour and a half of work what it takes a lot of other guys 2 or 3 practices to get done, in terms of the impact on his own ability to fill the water, to move fast through it, to condition his body. He's very able to focus his intensity, and that's really what I think has made him one of the best swimmers out there, is that particular ability.
Swimming. So, we swim long course in the mornings, usually short course in the afternoon. So you get a taste of both, and you get to work, things you need to in both pools all year long. And, just trusting my coaches. I think all it takes is, a love for the sport you're doing. If you like swimming, you're gonna go the extra mile sometimes and figure out how to dive in a little bit better, fix your entry. And you don't want to be doing something that you don't ultimately really love to do. And I think that's really what it does take to compete at the highest level. Jeff comes in, 2-time Olympian, big-time NCAA champion, and first and foremost, I think we all just know that he was a crazy workhorse when he was in school. He swam, obviously, and then was also on the track team. And I just really admire that work ethic. And when you come to practice with someone like that watching over you, you want to bring your best and show your best effort.
You have to have a lot of confidence. You have to have the confidence that you're going to be able to get your work done, and you can compete with the kids that are here who are all very smart. And I think that one of the things that took me a while to realize when I was here was that a lot of kids that on paper were smarter than I was didn't necessarily mean that they were going to get better results as a student. And as a swimmer, you know how to work hard, and you just kind of have to keep plugging at it. And I certainly did a lot better in my second 2 years than I did my first 2 years, because I started to realize that. And I think swimmers do really well because they don't really have any time to waste. It's a pretty tough 4 years here that way. But ultimately, what you get at the end is very valuable.
I think you just have to be confident in your routine. You have to know what has to be done. And it's not easy as a freshman maybe to figure out how to utilize these resources. It might take a year or two. And I think Abe probably did go through a few learning moments his first couple years. Certainly his junior year as an NCAA champion and declaring a major, he was able to really settle in on what his daily and weekly and quarterly routine is for support with working with a strength coach and getting help from teachers as needed, from working with a dietitian. A lot of people here and within USA Swimming want to see Abe be very successful.
Coming to college, you're on your own kind of for the first time. I can call my mom and get help, get her to help me through some things here and there, but ultimately I'm kind of making my own decisions when it comes to, going to bed on time and, not staying out too late, things like that. And, ultimately it just kind of shows, in practices and in competitions and in the classroom when I'm not, holding myself accountable and doing the best that I can do. And so just kind of self-checking here and there and making sure you're, generally moving in the right direction, I think has worked for me. My philosophy is just, if you're happy and you're living your life the way you want to and doing the things you want to, you know, making time for friends and things outside of school, outside of swimming, you know, that's going to really feed your success in the pool and in the classroom. And you know, you don't want to go too far down that road and get distracted, but you know, absolutely there's time to enjoy everything that you want to enjoy, for sure. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to go to the Olympics, and that's kind of what I always think of when I think of the Olympics, is just me when I was 8 or something, just at a meet, and you know, just saying, you know, I'm gonna go to the Olympics someday. And you know, now that I'm actually here, kind of, you know, in that pool, has a little bit different feel to it. And so I think moving towards the Olympics, what I really want out of, you know, the next year plus of swimming is just putting a cap on, you know, already a really successful career in this sport that I'm already really proud of. And you know, whether or not that means actually going to the Olympics or just, you know, training for it and hoping for the best, I think, you know, I got so little time left in a sport that's really kind of defined my whole life. So, you know, how can I really make the best of that?